Hi everyone, welcome to one more video in our series of UPSC Prelims strategy. Today we'll discuss about how to approach CSAT, how to tackle CSAT. Okay, it has become a hurdle for many, especially last year because it was a difficult paper, and many of my friends also I saw like they're getting very good marks in general studies, but unfortunately CSAT become a big problem for them. So we don't want that to happen to at least to all of you. So we are making this video. This is very important. Pay very close attention. It may go on for a little long, but it will be very valuable. Okay, so pay very close attention to everything we're discussing. There is a lot we'll discuss today, so you can in future you can go back and see the video if you miss anything. So let's get started. So first thing, obviously the question you should be asking yourself is how many marks you need and how many questions I need to solve for that. As you must be aware, you need like 67 marks, okay, 33% according to your UPSC notification. You need 33%, which comes out to be at least 66.67 marks. Okay, you need this many marks to clear CSAT, and for that how many questions I should solve if you ask like this. Now this is calculation, some rough calculation we have done. If you attempt 60 questions, we are assuming 60 on a conservative side because like 60 is good enough if you want to just clear CSAT. Okay, now let's assume if you get 40 correct, 20 incorrect, then your score will come out to be 83. If you get 2 more wrong like this, if you get 38 correct, 22 incorrect, your score will come out to be 76. If you get 2 more wrong, if you get 36 incorrect, 36 correct, 24 incorrect, your score will come out to be 70. Below this, it's tough. It's tough in the sense it's not possible. Okay, you'll score less than 67 and you'll not be clearing the CSAT. So what we should be targeting, I'll say we should target this column. Okay, we should target to solve 60 questions and get at least 40 correct. At least get 40 correct and 20 can be incorrect. Okay, so this should be your target for CSAT. Okay, with this in mind, let's move ahead and let's discuss from where these 60 questions are going to come. Now, let's say we decide that we'll attempt 60 questions, out of which 40 will be correct, or we'll try to have 40 as correct. The next question should be from where the 60 questions will come. I mean, like from which section, either quant, reasoning, aptitude, like that. So for that, let's move ahead. Now this is historical analysis of CSAT. As most of you must be aware, in CSAT there are three major parts. One is comprehension, where you get questions like on the based on some paragraph, English or Hindi, and based on that they'll ask what has been said in the paragraph, if it's true or false or something like that. Then there is quant, which is actually mathematics, where you have to solve some questions. Okay, some like multiplication equations and all. Then there is reasoning, where it is logical, it's similar to quant, but it does not involve calculations. It involves some logical arrangement, logical thinking, etc. So these are three major groups which can be made in CSAT. If you observe, this has been the historical weightage to all these three groups. Okay, now initially it changed a little bit, like sometimes they asked 27 questions from quant, once only 8, once 34. But if you observe 2018 onwards, the pattern has remained somewhat constant. Like the comprehension they have settled on 27, quant they have settled on 41, 42. So let's say 41. And in reasoning, it has been 11, 12. Let's thing, let's assume it's 12. So basically what is happening, 27 questions you are getting from comprehension, 41 questions from quantitative aptitude, and 12 questions from reasoning, and that makes up your 80 questions. Okay, now what next is what, as we discussed before, we need to get 60 questions, we need to attempt 60 questions, and we need to get 40 correct from those 60. So what we have to do, those 60 are going to come somewhere from here, okay, from these three sections. Now to do that, we should know our strength and our weakness. Okay, now for some of you, the quant, like mathematics, quant, reasoning will be strength. For some of you, comprehension may be the strength. But thing is, we should know what is our strength and what is our weakness, and not just know, we should have it backed up by some data. Like we should solve some good number of questions and understand, oh, that's what is happening. That's how, like in comprehension my accuracy is very good, or probably in quant my accuracy, my speed is very good. So that we'll have to do first. Okay, so for that, what you should do is, you should solve, let's say, 80 questions from each section. 80 questions from comprehension, 80 from quant, and 80 from reasoning. So, and you can give 2 hours. Okay, in that 2 hours, try to find how many you could answer. Okay, let's say I'm just filling some dummy data. So let's say in comprehension you answered 60 questions out of 80. Let's say you got 40 correct and 20 incorrect. Okay, so like we had calculated before, you'll end up somewhere like 86 or something. Okay, 83. You'll end up with 83 marks. Let's say in reasoning, you're able to solve only 40 questions, out of which you got 30 correct, 10 incorrect. So this will give you how much? This will give you 50 marks. Okay, and let's say in quant, you're able to solve again 40 questions, out of which you got, let's say, 25 correct, 15 incorrect, and that will give you little less than 50, something like 40 or something like that. Okay? 38, 40, something like that. Okay? Let's assume these numbers. Now what this table is telling you, that comprehension is your strength, reasoning is your second best, and quant your worst. Okay, no need to feel worried. This is just starting. Okay, this is just beginning analysis. Okay, so something like this you will face. Okay, something will be your strength, something will be your weakness, but it's good to know beforehand. Okay, what is your strength, what is your weakness, so that you can optimize your preparation accordingly. Once you know this, what you're supposed to do next, whatever is your strength, you have to make it perfect. Okay, now in comprehension, for example, in this table, somebody is getting 40 correct and 20 wrong. Still, these are not good numbers. In comprehension, you can have very good accuracy. Like in actual exam, they ask 27 questions. If comprehension, if you want to make comprehension as your strength, after this 27, 22 at least should be your correct answers and 5 can be wrong. So that's how the strong subject should act for you. Okay, so if somebody's strength is quant, again similarly, if 40 questions are coming from quant in actual exam, he should get at least 30-32 correct. Okay, and then 8 to 10 can be wrong. Like this your accuracy should be. So what you should do, once you identify your strength, your weakness, you'll have to work on it. Okay, so let's say comprehension, you start with comprehension, you have to work on comprehension. So what you should do, you already solved 80 questions, then you should take up again more PYQs. Okay, there have been around almost 400 PYQs from comprehension so far since 2011, since the new pattern. So what you should do, you should try to solve all those 400 questions. Okay, now how that can be done, you can refer any PYQ book in the market. We also have CSAT PYQ book. You can refer that, or any other book you have. Try to solve around 20 questions per day. And at the end of the day, try to analyze what went wrong. Okay, it's not that every question will get correct. You'll commit some 4, 5, 10 mistakes. At the end of the day, try to analyze why it's going wrong. Okay, why are you not paying enough attention, or your concentration is not enough, or some other mistake is happening. Something other will be happening. Okay, so we have to understand what exactly is happening, address that particular thing and move on. So what will happen? So first day, let's say out of 20 you're getting only 10 correct. Next day it has to become 11 or 12. Next to next day it has to become 13, 14. So like that, you may start at 8, 10, but eventually it has to go till 16, 17. Every time there will be 2, 3 mistakes which you may not be able to catch. But a good improvement should happen. You should reach the level of 16, 17. And when that happens, you can move on to another section. Okay. So let's say somebody does that for comprehension. He does comprehension very thoroughly. He's able to have very good accuracy in comprehension. But know that only 27 questions come in actual exam from comprehension. So what you should do, you also need to do another section. So let's say we move to quant. Okay. Now comprehension, quant, reasoning. Comprehension is slightly different than other two sections. Why? Because in comprehension there is no further division. In quant and reasoning there is further division. Okay. So let's talk about quant for a while. So this is table which talks about historical analysis of quant. You can pause the video, go through it in a lot of details. I'll just rush through it. Now these are all topics, subtopics in quantitative aptitude. If you see all the topics, what we are supposed to do is we don't have to do all of them. Okay, we have to do the important ones, and the less important ones, they can be dealt with later, because right now our target is just to pass the CSAT. Okay, we don't have to score like 100 or 120, 140, 160. Our target is 80, 85. Okay, that is a reasonable target for CSAT. Okay, so for example, if you can observe, this particular thing is like highest number of questions have come from linear equations. These are all previous year questions. Okay, like 2011, how many questions were there on these all subtopics? 2012, 13, like that. We have done this heat map only for last 5 years, because if you consider everything, then the trend will change. Okay, and this is more relevant for us. So linear equations, it has there have been 76 questions. On the topic numbers 57 questions, percentage and ratio of 50, then 44 questions from all these three topics are important. Permutation, combination, data interpretation, sequence and series, and then geometry and diagrams. Okay, it is also important. Now I'll say, if you start your preparation for quant, first you should prepare these 7 topics. Okay, then you can prepare the rest topics, the remaining topic, or you can just move on with these topics also. You just finish these 7 topics and move on to reasoning, like that. Similarly, we have a similar table for reasoning also, like this. So reasoning, it's a little difficult to break it into different topics. However, like some amount of breakage can be done. So for example, this section seems to be important, but there have been no question on that in last 5 years. Okay, deductive reasoning. So we don't have to pay more attention to this. Perhaps we can, this is also doesn't seem so important, because 0, 0, 1. So probably these two areas are more important. Okay, data sufficiency and syllogism, and I think spelling mistake is there. Okay, syllogism and logical deduction. So you can practice these questions, and once you practice, then slowly you'll understand what's going wrong, what needs to improve, and then you'll get you'll improve. Okay. Now, most important thing in CSAT, like all said and done, is practice. Okay. Now it matters more in CSAT than other subjects, because in GS it's about knowledge. Okay, general studies paper, either you know or you don't know. In CSAT it's more about logic and more about speed. Okay, it's not a question of knowledge. Like you may know something, you may not know, but you should be able to solve it at the time of exam. It's like mathematics, and mathematics is a subject which you actually have to solve. It's like a practical subject. Unless you solve it, unless you solve the questions, that wiring will not happen in your brain. Okay, you will not develop speed, and you will not be able to solve the questions faster, I'll say, or accurately. So to achieve both these two things, to able to solve faster and to able to solve with high accuracy, the most important thing you need in CSAT is practice more than anything. So what you have to do, we discussed earlier, you identify your strong and weak areas. Strong areas, you make them more stronger. Whatever weak areas are there, identify them and solve the previous year questions topic by topic. Okay, like first you take numbers topic, there have been 57 questions, so that's good number of questions. You solve all of them, try to see what's going wrong, what's going correct. So whatever is going wrong, next day try to improve on that. Now if you feel your questions are not sufficient for some particular topic, you can refer R.S. Agarwal or some other book, and just whatever PYQs have been there, similar questions you try to solve from that book, so that that particular topic you're able to have a very good grasp on that topic. So I'll say, if you keep approach like this throughout your preparation and prepare a very good schedule, then I don't think you have to do anything else. Okay, even classes are not needed. If you have a systematic approach like this, if you divide your preparation into 3 sections, then you do the topic wise analysis and you do good enough practice, then you will see a lot of improvement in your score, okay, day by day. So that's what I'll say about CSAT, and I'll say that please don't take it lightly this year. At least we don't know what will happen again this year, so all the PYQs are there. Do the analysis and see for yourself. Okay, one more thing, we have published the CSAT PYQ book also, so have a look at it. I'll give a link in the description, and please subscribe, share, like our channel. Okay, thank you.